Hey, Maria back with another video. It's 11:24 a.m. It is March 13th. It's Monday morning and I'm just kind of hanging around. Of course, I put some effort into looking for work, but there's so many dishonest people out there, so you don't want to put too much effort into it because it's going to waste your time. But I'm doing it because I don't want anyone to say, well, she didn't do anything. You know what I mean? I'm doing the best I can. But I was thinking about, certain questions, today that made me think about, you know, how I view life in general. And, when I think about my values, the opinions that I value opinions that are based on fact, logic, and I guess, when people say things like, well, do you don't like people telling you what to do? Um, Not under the context of where my ex-family did what they did. No, I don't. That was inappropriate. When you have a friendship, okay? I mean, there's a difference between friends and acquaintances, okay? I don't think that anybody who would do something like that would ever be considered a friend of mine. Generally, you want to have friends. Like, I think birds of a feather flock together. So you want to have friends close to you. You want to bring people into your life who share the same core values as you do. Okay? I mean, obviously you can't agree on everything, okay? But, because, you have some friends who like certain things that you don't particularly care for. But as far as how your overall lifestyle goes and how you view things, moral standards and things like that, then those are the kind of people that you want to be friends with. Those are your friends, okay? You can be acquaintances. You can have, say hello, goodbye. If somebody's stranded, they need a ride, you can pick them up and take them home. And they don't necessarily have to agree with who you are or how you live. That's just being friendly, having an acquaintance. There's a difference between being friendly and being a friend, I guess. But so I wouldn't have people in my life who opposed my life and my views. Okay, they wouldn't be in my life. They would be considered acquaintances. They would be on the outside. You know, um, do I value other people's opinions? I do if it's based on something logical and not based on some sort of competition. You see what I'm saying? Like, in my situation where people were just being overly nosy and then involving employers and things that really shouldn't be involved in and just this stupid bullshit, that I don't have any respect for. You know what I mean? Obviously, because it's it's unethical, it's illegal, and it's always damaging to a person. So I wouldn't respect anything like that. But if I had a friend who maybe I had an opinion, or I mean, I asked her generally if I think it's wrong to give your opinion unless somebody asks you what it is, like, because that's proper etiquette, that's proper manners, you know. For example, if I said, well, I'm looking for work, and somebody said, well, maybe you look too much on these particular websites, you know, I'm basically putting it out there. I'm inviting, you know, open discussion for something. You know what I mean? Or, like, let's just say, for example, I wanted to meet an influential person to get a job, but I didn't know exactly how to go about that because, I'm just a small person. I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, who am I? So I'm trying to figure out how is it that I can meet this person. So I talk to this particular person, and then they suggest maybe I do this, 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 and this in order to get the attention of this influential person to help me move in my goal or whatever. When you ask for those things, then you should be willing to receive feedback. You can take some of it, you could analyze it, take what you believe or think is right, or based on history, statistical data, or whatever. And if you agree with it, then you can take it or leave it. But if it's just something that, because most times when people want to advise you or they're doing it in an aggressive manner, it's mainly for bullying, reasons to bully a person. So there's usually no basis for that sort of behavior unless it is that. You know what I mean? Like in this case, I know that I've been bullied out of my job, and then also when it comes to looking for other jobs. You got all these stupid employers who, really, I mean, I've lost so much respect for the whole the whole system. But I I think that when you're dealing with looking for people's opinion, I would ask a person who I really valued, who demonstrated themselves, okay? Like if they were successful, I would ask the most successful person. And not a successful person who got there because they had, joined a certain club or something. If these people really had to know their shit. Like they really had to show me, have proof that they really knew what they're doing. But I'm not sure if there are certain people who get successful by their own efforts. You know what I mean? Because they are brilliant people. Or is it all some sort of con game? I don't know anymore, because that kind of skews your sense of reality. But if I did ask for advice, I would ask the advice of somebody that I believed to be truly successful, knowledgeable, has the right background, meaning not background, racial background or anything like that, but somebody who has a long history of proven abilities, then I would ask their opinion. And that doesn't necessarily relate to work. It relates to anything in life, that I felt I needed. I would ask the right person. I have a way of identifying who's good and who's kind of full of hot air, So that's the person that I would ask, I don't like people telling me what to do. Now, you can suggest, but that's only suggested if I put it out there. If I put it out there, like for example, I'm stumped, I need this or this. But see, I wouldn't be stumped if it wasn't for these people. So every once in a while you stumble upon these stupid questionnaires, these work questionnaires, which really I only went on with it because it was like, well, I'm just wasting my time. There's nothing else for me to do. But I really felt like this particular questionnaire was just basically retarded, is basically what it was. But it was just questions like, you don't like asking people, telling, nobody likes being told what to do. Nobody likes being bossed around. You know what I mean? Nobody likes doing that. The only people who have, I think if you were in a union or in a relationship or partnership, a business relationship or something, where you have agreed to collaborate with certain people, you have an agreement, okay? Like if I was in business with two other females, okay, and they're all wanting to, open another location or something, and so we all put our money in this together. We have to be open to ideas, compromises, exchanges, these sort of things. You have to be, because you went into a partnership. Now, you may not always agree with your business partners on everything, okay? But you did make an agreement that you guys are going to collaborate together, okay? I didn't have an agreement. So I personally think some of these like job interviews or these like questionnaires are specifically geared towards me in the baiting process. So I was just kind of going along with it and basically kind of giggling and thinking, what, this is bullshit because I can see right through this. And it was Jack in the Box, by the way. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of those out there, and it's baiting, So no, I don't believe in. We have to live our lives. We live our lives for ourselves, okay? Unless, of course, you made some sort of agreement to live your life with someone else or be with someone else, okay? Which I didn't do that, okay? I'm divorced, and like I said, when I got married, we never had those sort of agreements. It was like we just didn't. We always face to face. It was like, well, this is how we believe. You and I are involved in this. This is how we live our life. Blah 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 blah. It was never this sort of thing. And anyway, I'm divorced from that. But I will say, no, I don't. I prefer to be around people who respect my space. And I prefer to be friends with people who are on the same wavelength as me. Okay, we can't be the same. Nobody's going to be the same. But I think that it's best to be around people who are like you. That doesn't necessarily mean racial, okay? But you want to be around people who respect who you are. They respect who you are. They respect your life choices. And those are the people that you should gravitate to. Of course, there's hardly any socialization now anyway because of the social distancing. But you know what I mean. It's like you want to be around people who you enjoy, who bring out the best in you. And you're not going to be happy with people who are the complete and utter opposite of you. Not everybody meshes well, okay? Which I personally believe that I don't mesh well with the people who got involved in my targeting. These are people who were uninvited into my life. They should have never intruded. You know, and just because you might be some of the same background, family background, doesn't mean you're the same person. You know what I mean? So no, I don't. You know, and it depends. Like for example, if somebody was telling me something that was important, like for example, um, the reason why I'm dealing with these issues is because it's them. It is all them. Like I know that if they didn't make this big hula baloo bullshit thing going on, then I wouldn't be dealing with this issue. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be dealing with the issue at all. So everything that I'm experiencing is a result of what they've done. So and it's just something I'm tired of. But still, since I took this little questionnaire and it made me start thinking, it's like I know that these websites are just full of perp activities and pointless job interviews and stupid job requisitions and things that seem too good to be true. They usually are. So this is what I'm dealing with. You're dealing with massive targeting, okay? And I personally think that that when you deal with these sort of questionnaires, you just go with it. You know what I mean? I mean, it didn't really dawn on me that it was a setup until and I don't know, like till like the last three questions. I'm like, you know what? I need to get back to work. I don't have time for this bullshit. I don't. But no, I'm not a competitive person. I don't feel like I always have to take the lead. I in certain situations, since I was given lead opportunities in the past, I thought I was going to continue on with those things. So when I would look for work, that's what I would look for work for. Made sense, you know what I mean? But then I didn't realize that there was some bullshit going on. So then I'm like, okay, well then I'll just go ahead and take a job, any job. And I was willing to do that, which is one of the reasons why I looked for different avenues or whatever. I just needed a job. But no, I don't have to take the lead. But I would say that it would be nice if you could find an employer who cared about human rights. It would be really nice if you found an employer who did things the correct way. And what I mean by that is to stop violating the rights of other people, stop exploiting other people, stop participating in human trafficking, gang stalking, the abuse of women and minorities in general. It would be nice to find that. It would be nice to find that. But I think about this, what goes on in the business world all the time. And there's a lot of corruption out there. There's a lot of corruption out there. So you have to be careful. You have to be very careful about work in general. So anyway, no, I guess my opinions the opinions that I value are my own. Why? Because I usually have my opinions are right, okay? I mean, most of the time they are, okay? I mean, maybe sometimes I could be a little bit off, okay? I've made mistakes just like everyone else before. But when it comes to what's ethical, what's right, especially in this situation, I'm 100% right. Okay? And then when it comes to my life, my opinions are the only ones that matter. Because I have to live with my in my life. I have to base my life off of what's right for me. Not base my life on people who attach themselves to me when this relationship or this fusional, whatever you want to call it, is not reciprocal. I don't want it. I don't consider these people my friends either. Anybody who would do this to you is not your friend. They are your enemies. Okay? And then people have enemies, but like they're not active enemies. Not for me. Like I don't go around trying to figure out how I can get back to them. I would do what I can to stop their bullshit, like stop bothering me. But I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and plot to try to ruin their career opportunities or anything. I would never dream of doing something like that. That's beyond evil, is what that is. That's evil. I would never be that wicked. But yeah, I do value my opinions. Okay, and I do believe that my opinions are well founded, like they're well researched, and I don't just believe or do things willy nilly. It's important for me to have some sort of solid ground in order for me to believe or think something. And my life choices are my life choices, and that's what I live for. I don't live for family unit structures that took me by surprise or whatever. I live for me because that's how I was always raised to be. I was told that, like 18 years old, you do what you want. This is what I'm doing. This is my life. No, I don't. I don't appreciate. If I had a friend who really cared about me, instead of making it a public issue, if she was really afraid, let's just say, for example, I was a heroin addict, okay, and I was just screwing my shit up all the time. That means like I was calling in sick to work because I was really messed up, or I was, my behavior was changing. I was getting weird, and just, and then my friend, my so-called friend, whatever, but in this case, she's a true friend, okay? She sees that I'm going downhill, that my health is declining, my job is going to shit, my relationships are going to pot, then she, as a friend, out of love, would intervene, but she would do it in a way where she does not compromise my reputation. Meaning she doesn't go out and tell a bunch of people so they could participate, so it can become a source of gossip and slander campaigns. That's not what you do. As a true friend, she would come directly to me and say, look, you need help and I'm going to help you. And she would make the appropriate phone calls to certain professionals who are going to upkeep confidentiality. It would never, your friend who slanders you and brings your shit out in public forum is not your friend. They are definitely not your friend. What they are is they like to have attention. They want attention. They want to make a circus show out of your life. That's not your friend. And therefore, their opinions don't matter. Because they're there to hurt you. I know what a true friend is. And I don't have any. Because if I did, I wouldn't be in this situation. And most people don't have true friends. Like even the people who are all clustered together, slandering me or whoever, they're not true friends either. They're just a part of the group because this is the predominant way of thinking. And they do this because this is what they do. But if they were to ever step out that line of that group and want to think differently or do something differently, which is their right to do it, that group would cave in on them and attack them. Okay, so there is no real love there. But what there is there's control. There's a difference. And I know the difference. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope all of TIs have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll be back with another one. Take care. Bye-bye.